an interesting description, no doubt about it. But look, he has been great. Two-time Cy Young Award winner, going against a lineup that is vicious up and down. It's a great matchup tonight. We'll see who gets the best of it. So it's time to predict Game 5. Who is winning? Give us a score, Derek Jeter.
I have the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-2. The offense is going to look a lot better, and Blake Snell's going to pitch a gem.
I like that. I like Snell pitches a gem. I also like the Dodgers 7-4, and I think the Dodgers will get back on track offensively and play some home run derby tonight.
These Blue Jays showed me so much last night. I had the Blue Jays tonight 5-3 against Esnelcila.
You're just saying that because you want to be allowed back.
And kindly remove your caps for our two nations' colors. Presented today by the Los Angeles County Fire Department Honor Guard. Now, fans, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthems. Here to sing the Canadian national anthem, please welcome three-time Grammy-nominated Canadian-American singer, songwriter, and composer, Rufus Wainwright.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love that only us command, car ton bras portait l'épée. Il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée de tes glorieux ébrouilles. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Now to sing the national anthem of the United States of America, accompanied by Dodger Stadium organist Dieter Rule. Please welcome gospel singer and Dodger anthem legend, Keith Williams Jr.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets were clear, the Mossberg singing
is the voice of Glenn Powell, whose new movie, Running Man, will be in theaters on November 7th. In Los Angeles on an 86-degree night, we're ready for Game 5. And when the series is tied 2-2, the Game 5 winner goes on to win the World Series 2/3 of the time. They've won 6 of the last 7 after taking Game 5 in a 2-2 series. Lineup for the Blue Jays for Game 5. They're still without George Springer as the guys detailed. So it's Davis Schneider hitting leadoff, followed by Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette, both sliding up the spot. Alejandro Kirk is the cleanup man. Dalton Varsho is in center field hitting 5th with Ernie Clement. And then the bottom of the order that's continued to make this such a tough lineup to get through. Barger, Kiner Falefa, and Andres Jimenez. They face off with Blake Snell, who through the first 3 games of the postseason had a 0.86 ERA, but then in Game 1 of the World Series, half of the batters that he faced reached, and he gave up 5 runs.
Yeah, fastball command up too much, changeup up too much. You know what I love about Game 5 of a World Series? Throw away the stats. Now you're seeing everybody for the second time. It's time to adjust, read and react. And that's what Blake Snell has an opportunity to do. He was dominant before. Coming in here 3-0, he had 1 hiccup, and he's got a chance to make the adjustment.
Umpiring crew for this one, Alan Porter is behind home plate. The crew chief, Mark Wegner, down the left field line. The series has gone back and forth. 6-2 Blue Jays in Game 4, getting off of the deck after the gut punch of an 18-inning loss. 5 2/3 innings from Shane Bieber, gave up just the 1 run. They had the big home run from Vlad Jr., and then they had what John Schneider said is a Blue Jay inning, that 4-run 7th. Now here we go for Game 5. Who heads back to Canada, 1 win away from winning it all?
Blue Jays will know right away the game plan from Blake Snell, and I think the game plan is going to be establishing that fastball. Of course, everything works off that fastball. Curveball he can throw for a strike, changeup that he wants to swing and a miss.
Here he comes, off and go in Game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of Game 5. Davis Schneider into George Springer's shoes and doing a great impression. How about that? Ready for a first pitch fastball and an ambush to start Game 5 with a bang.
That jacket has been super important to the Blue Jays, and ironically, that's the first solo home run in the World Series by the Blue Jays. A plan and react, and he went up there with a plan to swing, and he got rewarded. That's a shock to the system of the Dodgers.
First home run of the postseason for Davis Schneider, who's just 3 for 16 in the playoffs, but he is the latest guy to step into a role for Toronto and come through. And so you get punched on the very first pitch, and now Vlad Jr. hooks a ball down the left field line. They've got back-to-back to start Game 5. Three pitches in, 2-0 Toronto. Wow.
You wonder when 2 heavyweights are going at each other, who is going to deliver the first blow? Well, they were ready to hit the fastball. You felt like Snell was going to establish his fastball tonight because he didn't do that in Toronto. And the first 2 hitters, I don't know if that's ever happened in his career where the first 2 hitters have hit home runs.
Now it's Bichette. So how do you bounce back from that if you're Blake Snell?
Well, I mean, read and react. So right now, the other team's telling you what they're going to do to your fastball if you don't place it well. So now he's gone to some breaking balls. And this is what is so incredibly great and awful at the same time. When you're facing a guy back-to-back, 1 and 5, it's about making adjustments. It's about reading what he tried to do before and vice versa.
0-2 grounded foul. So you got a home run from Davis Schneider. You got another home run from Vlad Jr. And you've got Bo Bichette looking more and more comfortable. Crushed a ball off of the wall his last time up last night. John Schneider said he's already looked impressive after missing a month and a half. But then that swing has everybody thinking, here he comes. I asked Bo, I said, did something click in there? Because he'd been getting on base, but just kind of finding his way on, putting it in play. He said, the swing has felt good, but I will be honest, I did want to show everybody what I've really got. First time playing on this big stage. And that was his first time really getting into a ball and looking like himself.
Well, you could see the shock in the crowd. They just sat down, and it's 2-0. Blake Snell is going to have to be mentally tough now to just keep pitching and making pitches and adjust. Just like that.
That's the change-up to get the first out of the ball game.
Well, the first one's more of a culture shock because it's like, wait, what just happened? The second guy, you almost kind of expect that if it's not located well, he's going to do some damage. And then Springer, of course, that's the loosest club I've seen since doing this full-time as a broadcaster. Toronto has had everything you mentioned. Punches thrown, devastating 18 inning. You would never know it walking into their locker room game to game.
Alejandro Kirk, and you just saw in the 705th World Series game all time, this is the first time that a team has gone back-to-back home runs to begin. You could, talking about the vibe of the clubhouse, you could walk through there not knowing what day of the year it is and have somebody tell you it's day 5 of spring training and not think that they're crazy. Kirk goes up the middle with a base hit, and he's now 6 for 8 against Blake Snell in his career. We talk about the Dodgers starters being what brought them here, being their biggest strength and advantage in this series. But you start to look, outside of Yamamoto's complete game, the rest of the starters for the Dodgers have given up 13 runs in 16 innings.
Well, this is a different team, and we tried to tell everybody that the Dodgers were going to face a different type offense. Yeah, you can maybe compare them to Milwaukee, but they have a lot more power than Milwaukee.
Here's the bouncing ball to second for Tommy Edman. They go to Mookie Betts for walk. Over to first, a double play. Broad history in this first inning. Back-to-back home runs from Davis Schneider on the very first pitch, and then Vlad Jr. 2 pitches later. Jays have a 2-0 lead before the Dodgers come on. Actually going to hang on right here. Looks like the Dodgers are going to challenge at first. Or the Blue Jays, beg your pardon, going to challenge that call at first.
It looked pretty close live. I don't know. We haven't seen a replay yet, but he's fairly confident standing out there. Yep. Ty goes to the runner.
Replay review is presented by Zoom. And so it looks like Varsho is going to be on here on the Fielder's Choice. John Schneider said that, hey, my job as a manager is to stay steady. Even if I don't always feel steady, like things are stable. I said it's my job to keep that front so guys can feed off of me. And I said every time that I find myself maybe doubting how steady I should be, these guys calm me. They find a way to come back. And he used the word fulfilling for what the experience has been to manage this group of guys all year. He's been managing for 15 years, not just, obviously, the majors, just a few years, but back to a decade of managing in the minor leagues. He said this is his favorite group he's ever had. The only group where he's never felt the need to call a meeting. They've kind of managed themselves when it's come to that stuff. And he's got him within 2 wins of the franchise's first World Series in 32 years.
Lake needs a change-up here.
To Ernie Clement. No. And it is, but it misses.
Ernie Clement loves the first pitch, and we've seen the aggressiveness of Toronto on full display. Usually when they make things happen, it's 3 pitches or less per at-bat.
Maybe that fast break analogy that Tom Verducci made last night. Let you settle in. I mean, you spend all week thinking about, okay, how am I going to get back at these guys after I struggled in game 1, and then 3 pitches in, and you're in a 2-0 hole. David Popkins' side just doesn't let you up for breath. Snell's 1-0 pitch. There goes Varsho. Throw from Smith is in time, and that's the inning. Will Smith, one of the best in baseball, at doing just that. That does it for the
Jays in the first. Schneider and Guerrero back-to-back. 2-0 as they hang on. Let's take a look again. Thought the inning was over a moment ago. This time, they're going to challenge again. Deja vu.
This is torture for Blake Snell. I know he can't do anything about it. He's walked off the field twice.
Challenging the out call at second base.
This is, to my first experience seeing back-to-back challenges from the same player.
How about an inning that has back-to-back homers to start it and then back-to-back challenges to maybe finish it? Blake saying this has not been fun. I've walked off of the field twice, given up 2 home runs.
I think this one's going to stand. What do you say?
Yeah, I'll go with you. Let's see. Again, the call on the field is that he's out. And so close. Strings don't count.
Well, they're satisfied. The Dodgers are satisfied. They're going in the dugout.
After review, the call on the field stands.
There you go.
Runner is out.
All right, so still one challenge left for the Blue Jays. Now we're going to take a break. No Springer, no problem. Davis Schneider up into the leadoff spot. Jackson homer on the first pitch of Game 5. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. follows him with his 8th of the postseason. And the Dodgers look to strike back with a different-looking lineup, as the guys detailed before first pitch. Mookie Betts, for the first time in 4 years, drops down and bats third. Same order in the middle. Freeman, Hernandez, and Tommy Edman. The other shakeup comes down at the bottom of the order, where the leash is gone for Andy Pages. Alex Call is in there, getting his first start since the division series. And here's Trey Savage.
Trey Savage did not have his split finger. That pitch is as good as it gets. And for him to have that pitch is the only way he can get through this Dodgers lineup, unless that fastball is electric and pinpointed.
22-year-old from Boyertown, Pennsylvania, home to Shohei Ohtani with a fastball low. He went just 4 innings in Game 1. Gets a lot of chase when he's right. The Dodgers were very patient, walked 3 times, and he threw 20 pitches per inning. Here's his 1-0, and that is a splitter for a strike.
The one thing I'll be looking for, and I'm sure the Dodgers are looking for, when he has that fastball out of that 7'1" release, it has carry. If it's cutting and pulled down, not what he wants. Because that's what sets up his slider split. Because he can throw it off that plane and he can throw a fastball up in the zone, the hitters have no choice. And anything that looks middle, they're going to have to go after it. And if it's a splitter, they're not going to hit it.
Same thing with Snell, where we talk about his changeup. The right to throw that changeup, the right to throw his splitter, comes off that fastball, which he did not have. He only threw 50% of them for strikes in Game 1. And Dave Roberts was talking to us before the game today. He said, yeah, we had him out of the game, but that was because of foul balls. We didn't really take advantage of him missing with his fastball. 2-2 on Ohtani. And a 2-0 game already.
Well, the biggest thing about pitchers like this, you don't see very many of them. The reason is it's hard to throw with command at that height. And it's a lot of torque on your shoulder. And it's hard, though, for the hitter because they don't see that release point. So his fastball miles per hour way down from when we saw him against the New York Yankees.
Ohtani bounces it back to him, pops out of his glove, and calmly shovels it over there.
And this being his first World Series or postseason start on the road, you got to understand, you've documented his journey. Here's the release point, and that Major League Baseball average is 5.8. So that's just really the window that they're seeing. Majority of the players are seeing is at 5.8. Now this window's way up high, and it's like you're looking way up high, and you're looking for anything that'll tip off what he's throwing. And it's hard. And that's why his splitter, which, again, he did not have it in Toronto, has to be an effective pitch tonight.
One away for Will Smith. Fastball to the outside corner for a strike. And we said the uniqueness is a big part of what has made him so good so far. Like you said, the Dodgers getting a second look. But John Schneider made the point he was so off in Game 1 that if he's himself, it's going to still be unique.
Yeah, it'll be a different look for sure.
There's a fly ball to left field that he hooks off the end of the bat a touch, and David Schneider will put it away. All right, so Mookie Betts hitting third for the first time in years. Dave Roberts trying to take a little bit of pressure off of him with everything funneling to him after the conservative pitching the Blue Jays have used on Ohtani. Yeah, Betts just 147 since the start of the championship series.
And in his first at-bat, I've not seen him swing at any first pitch in the first at-bat of the game.
And so they just pump it right down the middle.
Every single time. There's no reason until he changes that scouting report, and who knows, maybe it'll come in the most crazy of times, but until then, he's putting himself, for the most part, in an 0-1. Now, he knows and can hit with 2 strikes. Don't get me wrong. He is a great hitter with 2 strikes, but it's still, you've got to change that scouting report eventually on one of these pitchers.
Savage home with an 0-2, and he strikes him out, finishing off a 1-2-3 first inning, and a first inning for the Blue Jays that could not have gone better. Hit them all up the middle, hit them all to the pull side, rinse and repeat. On his way to the big leagues. 2-2.
I got you.
There's Fred. Always has a first or second row seat here. One of the great images of last year's World Series was their embrace after the Grand Slam. 8th pitch to his boy is swung on and missed. He finished it with a splitter.
This splitter has such great late action in the strike zone. We haven't seen the tumbler yet, meaning the one that really, when you hear the term fall off the table, just roll a ball off the table and see what it does. That's literally falls off the table. And we feel tonight, it looks like.
And he's used it to get 3 consecutive strikeouts. Retire him in the first 5 in Game 5. And he's using everything perfectly balanced. 8 fastballs, 8 splitters, 7 sliders.
Breaking through that shell in the postseason, getting to the 6th and beyond, the 7th, the 8th.
He strikes out Kirk. And after the 2 home runs to start the game, he's got 4 strikeouts and nothing since.
Strong as possible, learning how to repeat his mechanics, because throwing strikes is going to be the key. He'll last as long as he throws strikes from that angle. It's a tough angle to just be consistent. He's been really good so far.
He strikes out Muncy with a slider to the knees, and it's 5 in a row.
You know, Kirk has talked about Muncy's going to go look on the iPad. He's talked about the uniqueness of that slider, and he's encouraged umpires not to give up on it because of the uniqueness of it. It doesn't turn the corner right to left. It holds the plane and goes down like that. And you wouldn't think that that would be a compliment to a split that kind of goes down, but the split goes down and in, or away from a left-hander into a right-hander, and this slider just goes straight down.
Here's the 1 to Kike Hernandez. He's sticking with it right here. Straight down and even an inch arm side. If you were just to simply describe a slider, it'd be a pitch that moves glove side. But his actually goes the other way. There are 4 sliders in the major leagues, the entire big leagues, that have that movement profile.
Now, that can get you in trouble, but if you get it on the right side of the plate, and they don't know what's coming.
Here's the high drive. Forget about it. Kike Hernandez finds the seats. First of the World Series for Kike Hernandez, and the Dodgers are on the board.
He's been working on keeping that front shoulder in, and boy did he. Fastball location, obviously a pitcher knows right now he's just looking for a new ball. He doesn't have to turn around and see how far it goes. You know when you release it, there's no timeouts. You got to deal with it.
No timeouts, and these days there's the pitch clock. You got to go deal with it right away. Fastball downstairs for Alex Call. So Hernandez giving the Dodgers a jolt, and now a guy that Dave Roberts hopes does the same. And Call getting his first start since the division series. Andy Pye has 4 for 50 in these playoffs, and so even though his defense has been good in center field, Dave Roberts said, look, at this point, 2-2, we got to get more offense. And he goes to Call, who's reached base 7 of his 12 times up this October.
And that's just another theme that's been continuing for the Dodgers. Solo home runs. And they're great, but it takes a lot of them. So you've got to manufacture. If you're going to rely solely on the solo home runs, that's a tough ask unless your pitcher is lights out.
Clear advantage like we talked about for the Jays with the big innings. Also a clear advantage with the big swings. They've had 5 out of their 7 home runs have been with a man on base as that pitch just misses. For the Dodgers, all 8 or 7 of the 8 have been solo shots. It out, flies it to center field for Varsho. It carries, but Varsho runs it down 2 away. Another look at Hernandez's long ball.
I mean, that fastball went the wrong way. You see where he was trying to throw it, and the ball had lateral movement, and that's a feeling I am very familiar with.
Couple guys that are pretty good at sports. Sandy Koufax, Magic Johnson, who threw out the ceremonial first pitch before this Game 5. Back to the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani 0 for 3 yesterday. The MVP chance start for a guy who, in the losses in the postseason for the Dodgers, is 1 for 12. He goes, they go. Ohtani. Makes a strike, 1-1. Nope. Ball 2.
To throw that high or have that high release point, you have to arch. You have to. There's no way to get downhill without arching your back and getting that arm way above your head. There's the arch. And then what happens is when he's locked in, throwing high fastballs should be pretty easy. But when you try to throw down, that's when it gets disjointed. That is like this action way up high. Trying to throw a ball down is not natural.
6'4", most over-the-top release point in the majors. A 2-2 to Ohtani. Yes, swung on and missed. Swings himself out of his helmet on a disappearing splitter that ends the 3rd. Dodgers get their first base runner, and it produces their first run. A home run makes Game 5 2-1.
Definitely a possibility if we need him at some point for an at-bat or 2. So we'll see how the game goes the rest of the way and see if he's needed.
John, thanks a lot. Oh, and by the way, everyone in America, you can stop texting Joe Davis about Davis Schneider's stance. I asked him what was going on. Who was he imitating?
This ball's down the line, Kenny, and Don Varsho's got extra bases. He's headed for 3rd. He's going to turn the corner and hang on.
So I asked him, all right, who are you imitating tonight? And he said, oh, it's my own stance from the minor leagues. So the answer to who Davis Schneider is mimicking tonight is Davis Schneider.
All right, going back to an old swing of his. This play here, you're going to want to redo. When you go to dive and you can't stop it or catch it, it's a triple. So in that regard, Teoscar could have held him to a single, made the full commitment to dive. The effort was there, but then it turns into a triple.
With nobody out.
Yeah. That's the tough part. That's the decision outfielders have to make.
Ball on Ernie Clement. And this is another gap in this series. We mentioned the Blue Jays have not made an error in their last 9 games. That's not going to show up as an error, and neither is Betts' play last inning, and that didn't bite him, but Dodgers not tight on defense. 1-0 to Clement, trying to take advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Dave Roberts is putting his infield back. He's going to trust his offense, and he doesn't want to create a bigger inning for the Blue Jays because he knows Clement's going to put the ball in play more than likely. Now, obviously, Snell wants to prevent that. But with 2 strikes, Clement will do everything he can to hit a ground ball. I doubt Dave Roberts will bring in the infield with 2 strikes on the batter.
Snell to the plate. Clement lines the ball to center field. Kike Hernandez makes the catch. Here comes Varsho. Hernandez's throw flat-footed, has no chance. And the Blue Jays take advantage of the defensive misplay to make it 3-1.
And that's no small item. When the Dodgers had rallied to cut it to half with that home run.
Man, you could not have a better contrast right there. Mistake defensively for the Dodgers. That is 8 strikeouts for Trey Savage.
See, the one thing about pitchers and the advantage that they have, they can make the necessary adjustments within 5 days. Hitters, when they're struggling, they don't have any time. You got to get out there the next day. So there's very little time to make those adjustments. And you see that splitter so connected. Change of speed and movement.
Freddie Freeman. Strike 1. All 3 pitches doing what he wants. After, like John Schneider said, as off as they've seen him just a week ago in Game 1. Home with an 0-1. Fastballs by him, back-to-back heaters, 0-2. This is starting to take on a feel of that Yankees start in the division series.
He was shaking his head there because he was trying to get it in. He missed away, but the fastball velocity was still good enough that he got a swing and a miss.
And then he hits Freeman on a 2-strike pitch. And the Dodgers in offense reaching and stretching, looking for anything, has to look at this as a crack in the door. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, now the best network in America. Well, here's his first chance to make up for the defensive misplay. Teoscar Hernandez comes up with 2 out as the tying run. Gets there, has no play. Infield hit, Teoscar Hernandez. And they're at first and second with 2 away.
And again, this is where you got to be careful. He doesn't have a ton of experience, but innocent innings, striking out the world. 0-2 pitch, he hits Freddie Freeman. We talk about how hard it is to get 3 outs in a postseason game. And now you got instant traffic and the leading run at home plate.
Now the Dodgers had traffic in yesterday's game, but went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and that has been the single biggest issue in this World Series. These situations. Tommy Edman overthrown, ball 1.
Yeah, Tommy Edman, switch hitter, and you probably wonder what's he doing. Well, he's trying to take away that split and the angle that he has against left-handers. So by batting right-handed, he's going to see a rarity, really, because he doesn't do this against a lot of right-handed pitchers, but he's trying to take away the angle of the split.
Only guy that he did it against during the regular season was Jeremiah Estrada, reliever for the San Diego Padres, choosing to forfeit the platoon advantage. That's how unique Savage is. Let's get a quick word from Capital One.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that'd have to be
bank guy.
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
What's in your wallet?
Freeman at second. Teoscar Hernandez at first. 1-0 to the plate. Tommy Edman swings and misses, and it's 1-1.
When you spike a slider like that, the tendency is you've thrown it. You know, you spike it because you're trying to break it. You got to hang on to it a little bit longer. He did a nice job there.
the diamond, and Trey Savage, first time there's a little pressure against him, does not break. They strand 2. And after 4, 3-1 Toronto. Back after word from your local Fox station.
But then when you come to the park and you're like the team's struggling and you're giving up 5 or 6, you got to score. And last year they scored at a high clip in the postseason.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with a splitter and has 9 in Game 5 of the World Series. Putting on a show for Chris Pine and a bunch of celebrities here in Los Angeles. Jason Bateman has been at all 3 games. Applauding Kike's home run right there. Andy Garcia. The Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred, and Hall of Famer Joe Torre. Leo DiCaprio. Alex Call takes upstairs, ball 1. Fly out to center field the first time for Call. First start since the last game of the division series for the former National. Deadline pickup. Straight up. Kirk loses the mask near the screen. He's out of room.
Oh. You got to protect that person.
Mary Hart. Bert.
It hit him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to help out. They screened him.
We got a thumbs up, though.
All right.
Next time, though, Mary should have her glove. Split it to the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Alex Call. Trey Savage, after gutting his way through 4 innings with far from his best stuff in Game 1. 9 strikeouts in his first road postseason start. Dodger Stadium in the World Series.
Timing of his landing is so important again to his. A couple times I've seen a short stride that messes up. He spikes it. You see his feet kind of kicking the dirt when that happens.
Count goes full. Dodgers making the change in this spot in the order from Pages to Call. Desperate to get some traffic for Shohei Ohtani, who was hit with the bases empty in 18 of his 24 plate appearances in this World Series. 3-2. Call chases what would have been ball 4. And Trey Savage has 10 strikeouts. Fly ball right field. Teoscar Hernandez. 2 gone in the 6th. Trey Savage, 10 strikeouts. The first rookie to do that in a World Series game since former Dodger great Don Newcomb in 1949.
Well, he's made some adjustments. He's
looked
really good in the field, and the mechanics much better.
Clement's out in front of the first pitch from Snell. Ground out and a sac fly for Clement. Punches this one to first. Freddie Freeman, heck of a play. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Blake Snell. Top of the order for the Dodgers coming up. Running out of chances in this Game 5. Jays 3, Dodgers 1. Bottom of the 6th. Shohei Ohtani leads off against Trey Savage and takes in the dirt for ball 1. 10 strikeouts for Trey Savage over the first 5 innings. The only time that's ever been accomplished. Game 1 of the 1963 World Series at Yankee Stadium. And that man right there, Sandy Koufax. Sandy had struck out 11 over the first 5 innings against the Yankees. It included Mantle and Maris, and he went on to strike out 15 in a complete game performance that set the stage for a Dodger sweep. Savage to Ohtani, gets a rip and a miss, and it's 1-2. That is the only time the Dodgers clinched a World Series at home out of the 8 World Championships, that 63 team. Jays spoiling a chance to do that this year. 1-2. A shot to right field. That is a diving catch from Barger. Addison Barger. It's not just been the bat from him. He's been awesome defensively as well.
Yeah, this one's trying to dive down, and he just gets a great jump on it. Angles the glove perfectly.
Making him do that. Trey Savage can do no wrong. They're either missing or they're hitting it, and his defense making plays for him.
And when you're struggling, you do things you normally don't.
A swing and a miss and an 11 strikeout for Trey Savage.
That just bites down, and like I said, you do things like Smith. Smith doesn't swing too often at pitches like that.
He has now tied Smokey Joe. His 2-2. Bouncing ball left side. Ernie Clement's got an easy one. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Trey Savage. Absolute dominance at Dodger Stadium. In Game 5 of the World Series, he struck out 11. Beyond belief for just about anybody. I don't know, Mom and Dad, Dave and Cheryl, maybe they saw it coming. 4 runs over the last 26 innings, back to the 7th inning of Game 3 when it was 5-5, and it looked like the offense had come to life. Not much doing since. 2-2 to Barger. Punches one left side. It's going to find its way into left field. Muncy was over towards the hole, and Barger snuck it by him for a leadoff single. He has reached base all 3 times in this Game 5. If tonight's game ends in a walk-off, Capital One will donate an additional $10,000 to the Jackie Robinson Foundation as part of the Capital One walk-off program. To date, Capital One has donated more than $1 million to the foundation to support its programs and initiatives. Jays fans are saying we'll put together $10,000 together so we don't have to have Capital One do that on a walk-off. So that would mean a Dodger win in this 5th game. Leadoff man aboard. Counter from left for the ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Enriquez ready to go in the Dodger bullpen. Bunted foul.
Here's the other play you don't see too often. I mean, you don't see bunts very often. But in a bunting situation, and the pitcher knows it, the infielders know it, starting the runner and bunting at the same time. It's not technically a hit and run. It'd be bunt and run, and you're guaranteed to get the runner to second unless the ball's in the dirt.
In from first, Freeman, and IKF takes a strike. You run a further risk of a double play that way. A little pop-up.
You do, but you do it only with the guy that you know is a great bunter of the ball and a pitcher that's around the strike zone. The reason he did that, see if the intel of the hitter at the plate would give away anything. I doubt he'll be bunting here with 2 strikes.
Still looking for his first hit of the World Series. Connor Falefa, 0 for 14. That one gets away, and Barger will get second anyways. Blue Jays outplaying the Dodgers in this game in every way.
Again, it's a game of advanced thinking. If this happens, this is what I do. Anticipating, reading, reacting. And That was such a tough block for Smith. He didn't know what the ball was. An easy advance to second.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Counter for Rafa. Takes in the dirt. It's gone to 3-2 on a guy that is hitless in this World Series. Enriquez ready for the top of the order, likely. 3 hitters away, or 2 hitters away. Barger at second, nobody out. The payoff pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Betts is there. Running throw in time. Runner stays at second. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, please visit MLBtogether.com. Unhappy faces here at Dodger Stadium. 50,000 plus. Not a whole lot to cheer about, though, as Trey Savage has dominated this game. Andres Jimenez with 1 out, swings and misses. Here's another chance for Jimenez to do what he's done best in this postseason. That is deliver with runners in scoring position. 7 for 14. 3rd on the team in RBIs out of the 9 spot. Snell's attacked him with fastballs tonight. Struck him out both times. Here, this is his last hitter. Schneider on deck. Ball 2.
You're wondering what Blake Snell does every once in a while, reaching in the back pocket. It gives him information on counts, tendencies, all that gathered from 162 games based on the batter.
Chase right there, 2-2. How reliable is that in the postseason? If guys change.
Yeah, and that might be a card for just postseason too. It's not necessarily, but I think it's a good reliance to know the tendencies of hitters. They don't vary too often.
It's a play sheet for the offensive coordinator. The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball first, but foul.
Slow, and then fastball up is where he's been getting them. So if you're thinking along the lines, it's late in the game. This is probably the last hitter. You have one more good fastball on a 2-2 count up in the zone that looks enticing for Jimenez to go after it.
Nathan Lucas has a bat ready to counter if there's a new pitcher. 2-2. There's a fastball, throw back to second, hits the runner. I know Betts did catch it.
I don't like that by Will Smith right there, because now all you're doing is you're possibly taking a strike away on a 2-2 pitch with the chance of picking off a guy at second. I don't know if it's worth the risk.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes on the 9-hitter. Popped out of his hand, and his 4th walk of the game will set it up for the top of the order and likely end his night. No, Mark Pryor instead.
Yeah,
that's to buy a little time.
I don't know if they would rather face Lucas here.
Yeah, so I guess the question is Snell against Schneider or Enriquez against Lucas.
Right, and I think that's going to be just a pulse check right now and see where he's at and understand that Lucas will come into the game if they take him out.
Let's get a quick word from Google Cloud.
Does a little hop bring a little luck? Catch the game like never before with AI from Google Cloud.
Boy, you sure would love a double play here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. waiting on deck.
Yeah, That likely will happen on a changeup away if he gets into a situation to utilize. The aggressiveness of Snyder was no more evident than the first pitch of the game. Solo home run.
Strikeout and a walk since then. 2 on with 1 out in the 7th. Jays by 2. Started him with a change. Strike 1. Davis Schneider, the former 28th round pick. Sees another changeup thrown in there. 0-2.
That one caught him by surprise, I think. And now you're trying to go for that kill shot. Got a couple pitches to maybe either swing over the top of a breaking ball that starts up or go 3 in a row changeups and just make this one way off the plate.
You know the hitter's got to be thinking, he can't throw 3 in a row, can he? See what he chooses. On an 0-2. He did, not through a slider, but it missed.
The thought here is you're going to see him swing over the top of a slider. He could get on his tippy toes trying to get that call.
Now the 1-2 is in the dirt. Smith can't get it, and up to third goes Barger.
And Barger has been on it. Anticipating the ball in the dirt. When he sees it, he's gone. You can see that ball just kicks way away from Smith.
So he singles to open the inning. Takes second on a wild pitch. Takes third on a wild pitch. Two balls and 2 strikes on Schneider. Snell comes home from 0-2 to 3-2. With Vlad Jr. looming on deck. Now, who would have thought you lose George Springer, you come back to win Game 4, and then in Game 5 it's the guy that slides up into the leadoff spot in his place that starts it with a home run and now tries to squeeze the last drop out of Blake Snell. Most pitches he's thrown in 3 years. The 116th. A 3-2 to Davis Schneider. Got him with a change. And that will be the end of the line for Blake Snell. Dave Roberts will go down to his young flamethrowing righty Henriquez as Snell finishes off his night with his 7K. The Blue Jays with a 2-run lead. And runners at first and third looking for insurance and looking for a 3-2 World Series lead. Finish, book still open though for Blake Snell. Frustrated with this outing. 3 runs, 2 of them coming on the first 3 pitches of the game on home runs. This is the guy to hit one of them, Vlad Jr. Edgardo Enriquez on to face him. Upstairs to the first pitch. Gain trust in what he did in the 18-inning game when he had 2 scoreless innings.
Throws hard, but that doesn't matter to Guerrero. You better locate it.
Another home run, a walk, and a double play ground out. First and third, 2 away. 2-run lead for Toronto. Enriquez comes home. A swing and a miss on a high fence ball. Enriquez only 23. Had not pitched since the wild card round prior to Game 3. Dodgers desperate for guys to step forward in that bullpen in big spots.
If you want to know why he's such a good hitter and why there's so many strikeouts in baseball, hitters have a bat angle that is in the upper 20s launch, right? They want to launch. They want to lift the ball in the air. His is flatter in the strike zone. It's part of the reason why he hits so many ground balls, and he hits them hard. And by having a flatter swing and as strong as he is, if you throw the wrong pitch, that will create his power. But he's not up there trying to launch and hit homers. He's up there to hit the ball hard and hit at gaps and then take advantage of where you're pitching him.
And home runs come out of that.
They sure do.
He's got 8 of them to just 5 strikeouts in the playoffs. He's got Barger at third, Jimenez at first. The 3-1. Guerrero fouls it off, and it's 3-2. Dodgers could not get out of the inherited runner situation for their starter Ohtani last night. It was the difference in the ball game, what the relievers did coming in.
Seeing Savage standing, man, I can't believe he stands a lot. It just would wear. He must not like to sit, nervous energy, whatever it is. But I think his manager is going to go batter to batter now with him if there's no more runs scored in this game or this inning.
Payoff pitch to Vlad Jr. Overthrows it to the backstop, and here comes Barger. 4-1 Toronto. A single and 3 wild pitches to allow Barger to go first to home.
Way to fucking go, baby. Way to go.
That was not your typical Dodgers inning. But the fear of making a great pitch to a great hitter, and the feeling that a manager has when he watches a runner go first, second, third, home without a hit.
And so first and second for Bichette. The Dodgers over the first 142 innings pitched in this postseason had 3 wild pitches. They have 3 in this inning alone.
It's crazy.
Oh, 1 to Bichette. Trying to make it really hurt. They ruled that, by the way, a pass ball, but same idea.
That, was a pass ball?
Either way, it's a run. And the Blue Jays have the insurance with a pitcher on the mound who looks unhittable.
I want to see the replay of that.
We're going to get that for you. Ball 2. Will Smith says, calm down.
Oh, there's no way.
101 in the other batter's box.
There is no way. When you're set up for a pitch where he was set up to get 101, you keep it as wild. You keep it as a wild pitch.
I'm good. Oh, I'm sticking to my guns because I wrote it in pen.
I mean, there's just no way. You're not supposed to catch a ball in the left-handed batter's box.
Triple digits, no less. 3 balls and a strike on Bichette. Jimenez at second, Guerrero at first. Here it comes. Shot to right field, a base hit. Here comes Jimenez. Hernandez's throw heads for third. It is not in time, and it's 5-1. And the Blue Jays have another multi-run inning. And for the second night in a row, a Dodger reliever comes in, and the 2 inherited runners both come in.
RBI king for the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll find out what the future holds for him. But right now, he is living a dream playing in the World Series after not competing in the first couple of series due to that knee injury and coming through.
He's knocked in a run in all 3 games here in Los Angeles. He's given the Blue Jays a 5-1 lead as they try to go back-to-back wins after the crushing defeat. Maybe we should stop calling it crushing because they've made it look like it was nothing. Game 6, one way or another, is going to be this matchup. This is why this game is so important for the Blue Jays. They're looking at facing Yamamoto, fresh off his complete game that I know you've said is as impressive a performance as you've ever watched in the playoffs. You've seen some good ones.
Yeah, no, he was in the strike zone. He was nasty. He just absolutely took the bats out of their hands and dominated that game.
And, of course, Gausman on the other side for the Blue Jays. He's been the race all year and 4 years.
And he was equally as dominant. He made one mistake with 2 outs to Will Smith in a tie game. So he's been awesome for Toronto as well.
Yamamoto for the Dodgers, but Gausman plus that Rogers Center crowd for the Blue Jays. Even playing field as this heads to Game 6. 2-0 on Kirk.
The one thing about this inning, and it may knock out Savage because of the delay, right? Plus they got a couple runs, but that delay in this late in the game really impacts a pitcher.
No, that's outside.
You're running out of gas a little bit, and he doesn't have exactly experience of 200-plus innings. We'll see what they choose to do when this inning comes to the bottom half.
Anthony Bond is ready for the Dodgers as this has gone to 3-0 on Kirk. Enriquez looking for his first out. Not going to find it here. And not going to get a chance to find it again. Left-handed batting Dalton Varsho's coming to the plate. Anthony Bond is coming in. The Jays have scored twice more here in the 7th. They lead it 5-1. Played once every 3 years. It'll be next March on Fox. Aaron Judge suits up for Team USA for the first time. The big jumper will catch. Bobby Witt Jr. part of that as well. Dalton Varsho to the plate here in Game 5 of the World Series. A 5-1 lead for the Toronto Blue Jays as Edgardo Enriquez is the latest to come in and let inherited runners come in to score. This is a bases-loaded situation that Anthony Banda inherits. Out of the 3 times we've seen this situation in the World Series, 8 of the 9 runs have come in. Inherited, bases loaded for a reliever. The strike one on Varsho. Banda was one of the guys that struggled out of the pen last night. Couldn't hang on to things for Shohei Ohtani. It was the concern coming into the postseason for the Dodgers. Covered up by how good the starting pitching was the first few rounds. But then busted open as the Blue Jays have been a tougher test on the starters. Ground ball to second, Tommy Edman will shovel it off to second to end the inning. But the Jays get 2, second night in a row. They put up a crooked number in the 7th. 2 wild pitches. No, we're sticking with 3. 3 wild pitches allow Barger to go all the way around. Blake Snell's finished. The Dodgers down 5-1 to the last of the 7th. Defense that's already good. 1-2 to Freeman. There's a dozen for Trey Savage.
Well, what this shows me is John Snyder is looking at the results more than he's looking at anything else. I told you before, you got to throw away stats and tendencies when you're in a 1 game. Obviously, you got to win 2, but you're in a 1 game situation where your pitcher is having a moment. Don't go to the stats when he's having a moment.
Chopper to third, Clement to second, over to first, double play! A World Series masterpiece from 22-year-old Trey Savage.
Yamamoto in Game 6 and Gausman.
Chopper to second, that'll advance Clement to third. Barger the first out. Trey Savage. 11 strikeouts against the Yankees. Game 2 of the division series, does it again here. First rookie with 2 10-strikeout games in a single postseason ever.
And the adjustments he made in his bullpen and everything he looked at, yeah, I'd smile too. That was unbelievable. And what he was able to do, the feel for pitching was way better, and that splitter was incredible.
Kind of for left, but past the drawn-in infield to make it 6-1. Single, wild pitch, productive out, and then kind of for left his first hit of the World Series. It was Game 5 last year where the Dodgers hoisted the trophy, took advantage of the Yankees' defensive lapses. It's Game 5 of the World Series this year where their own mistakes helped the Blue Jays pile on.
Sometimes 2 days rest and 3 days rest. He didn't have a whole lot of time for golf. He's making 40 starts and doing the thing he had to do. So put it in perspective.
Crowd didn't like this call. Frustration's boiling over from the lack of offense they've seen since Freddie Freeman's walk-off home run. That's as much "what are we doing, Dodgers" as it is anger with that call. 3-2 from Dominguez inside and a walk from Call. They finally get Ohtani to the plate with a man aboard. Hey, we want to say hello to Terry Harrison. We are always thinking about you, Terry. Superstar member of our crew, our graphics team. Not with us this October, but we can't wait till you are again. In a 6-1 game, Ohtani to the plate. It's the first time tonight that he's hit with a man on. And it's only the 7th time that he's hit with a man on is 26 times up.
Last time there was a mound meeting. Yeah. And the very next pitch, there was a home run. So I'm wondering with this mound meeting and reminding him of probably throwing a first pitch split and making sure that he gets the ball away. So we'll see how he responds. But that turned into an 18-inning beauty.
If you're trying to figure out what the mound visit was last time based on what he did, then the message would have been put the ball as middle as you can and see how far you can hit it. Because it was right on a tee, the very first pitch. Wow. Another scorcher off the bat of Ohtani, but it was on a splitter, and it's down to first for Vlad Jr., and it sends Game 5 to the 9. 12th strikeout game in World Series history. The first one since Orlando El Duque Hernandez did it for the Yankees against the Mets in 2000. He lost that game. Smith starts the ninth with a base hit to left. The last guy to win a 12 strikeout game in the World Series, Bob Gibson in 1968. Trey Savage, pinch yourself. That's 0 for 3 and 3 for 22 in the World Series. You know about Smith's recent struggles. That's been a big story, but then you look down Tommy Edman, 3 for 21 in the World Series. Max Muncy, 4 for his last 32. Ohtani, 0 for his last 7.
No, it's outside.
Outside. Say, who's going to step up? Well, they're going to hope that Yamamoto does in Game 6, but they're going to need a couple guys to get out of poorly timed slumps offensively. 1-1 to Betts. Check foul. And as good as Yamamoto is, it's not like Kevin Gausman is a pushover. 255 in this postseason. Retired 17 in a row before he ran into trouble late in Game 2. 6 2/3. 3 runs allowed in defeat. The 1-2 to Betts.
Yeah, it's safe to say that if that stat we just showed, 1 through 4, doesn't change dramatically, Dodgers will not repeat.
7 o'clock Eastern. Coverage begins Friday night. First pitch at 8. After the leadoff hit from Smith, here's a 2-2 to Betts. Fly ball left center field, but not deep. Miles Straw put Betts to 0 for 4. Jeff Hoffman, who came into this postseason as a concern for the Blue Jays, has figured it out. He's given up just 1 run in 10 innings in these playoffs. And the bullpen for the Blue Jays, collectively a concern, but in this World Series, their ERA is below 3. Here's Freeman. Came into this World Series talking about the opposite paths these teams took through the championship series. Dodgers sweeping, Jays having to play 7 games. The 5th all-time matchup between teams like that. And again, the team that did the sweeping has never won the World Series that followed.
That still blows me away. I mean, we've seen and heard a lot of different stats, and this is what they're talking about. Not only did they not win, collectively, they only won 2 games.
So now 4-19 all time. Man. Hoffman's 2-1 to Freeman. 2-2. Got to be something to it.
Well, I've always said that now the Dodgers are a little bit more used to the layoff with the new playoff system. It's the layoff. You know, you take care of business, and you got, in some cases, 9 days off.
2 gone in the 9th inning of Game 5.
Your hitters get out of sync. It doesn't really affect the pitching. I would love to know. We won't have time for it now. Maybe we'll show you in Toronto. I'd love to know what those team batting averages were in the World Series on the teams that did not win after sweeping. 2 days, and we will have that. Tune in, Game 6 in Toronto. Is that a tease?
If I've ever heard one. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. Got 2 infield singles in this game. 2 of the 4 hits for L.A. Bring your decibel meter. It will be rocking in that place. As it was in here for Game 3. The Blue Jays getting the early leads, especially tonight. First pitch of the game. Yeah, getting an early home run to overcome a deficit last night. Minimizing the crowd's impact in these couple days. Just missed. Hoffman with a 1-2 pitch. Well, and the Blue Jays are headed home 1 win from a championship. And it was a child who led them tonight.